Hi guys, Brian from Boas here. I recently had a really nice morph litter, and today I want to give you an update on the litter. So this was a Hypo Marron female crossed with a jungle Marron male, and a lot of really nice babies. So I'm going to get out my close-up lens, take a look at them. And this is an interesting cross because this is the mother, the Hypo Marron. The father is a jungle Marron, so we have three different genes. They're all incomplete dominant, and so that means that you only need one copy of the gene to have the phenotype or the physical expression, the manifestation, which we call the morph. And if you have two copies of the gene, you will have the super form. And so in this case, it's possible to get super Marrons because we have Marron coming from the mother and from the father. Okay, and there's actually 32 different possible phenotypes, or 32 different distinct morphs that could result from this cross. And so I went to Morph Market and I did their genetics calculator, and I just copied and pasted. This is the results, the potential results. And if you want to study it, you can pause it and see what the possibilities are. But you can see a lot of different possibilities. And of course, this is just a probability. It's just a statistical likelihood. Kind of like flipping a coin. You can flip a coin 10 times and get 8 heads and 2 tails, 5 heads, 5 tails, 4 tails, 6 heads, etc., etc., etc. But it gives you a pretty good idea about the potential outcomes. And so I was really excited about this litter because of the potential for the super Marron. And the super Marron is a really, really rare morph. I think there's only been a handful that have been created. And I had one from my first Marron times Marron cross 2 years ago that I thought was a super Marron. I'm not exactly sure now if it's a super Marron. It might be. I'll maybe touch on that in a future video. But in this litter, I got 5 super Marrons, which is really cool. And the genetic predictor would predict that you would have 1 out of 4 would have 2 copies of the super Marron, or 2 copies of the Marron gene rather, which is the super Marron. And so in this case, 5 out of 22 is about 1 out of 4. So it's, pretty good as far as, hitting that probability. And this is the father. This guy is a jungle Marron. Unfortunately, I believe he's going into shed right now, as was the female I just showed you. So their colors are a little bit muted because they're in shed. But this guy is a really nice animal. He was the father of my first Marron litter that I had 2 years ago. And he certainly did a bang-up job, along with the mother, on the results of this litter. If you remember, I did a video on it, and I was literally breathless when I saw these babies. It was just, one of my more memorable litters that I've had. Every litter is special to me, but litters like this are really the reason why I keep breeding year after year, and put up with all of the hard work and all of the, cleaning snake poop and all of the not so pleasant parts of keeping snakes is for creating litters like this litter from these 2 animals. And so without further ado, I'm going to get out my close-up lens, show you guys some of my favorites from the litter. And I really like them all, but I'll show you guys just some favorites. Here's a close-up at the color of this Marron animal, and you can see just the beautiful pastel colors. It's kind of hard to describe the exact effect we're seeing here, but it's got these beautiful soft colors with really nice shades of different colors and really nice increased saturation. And the tail saddles in particular really stand out. It just kind of boosts the contrast, but really, really cool looking animal, the Marron. The Marron single copy animals are also the most affordable from the litter, so if you're looking to get into the Marron project on a budget, these are the perfect animals for you. When you combine the Marron with some other genes, really great things happen, and this is a Hypo Marron, and so the Hypo, of course, removes a lot of the dark pigment, the melanin. And so this animal has this beautiful pinkish orange background color. The Hypo gene also affects the shape of the saddles. You can see the saddles are kind of more pinched and they're reduced in size. There's also a few connected saddles which you see in the Hypo sometimes. So really cool look. I just think these Hypo morons are just such gorgeous animals. There's a close-up. This is a great 2-gene combination morph, and there are several of these Hypo morons available in the litter if you're interested. Next we have another 2-gene combo morph. This is the jungle moron, the jungle and the moron, and these 2 genes really work well together. So you can see the moron adds the pastel colors. Jungle, of course, is a variable morph. In this particular animal, the main effects are the contrast. You can see those saddles just really pop. This animal is just really amped up on the contrast. Looking at his saddles, you can see that the spear, the white spear in the middle of each saddle is kind of larger. Actually, there's 2 of them in each saddle, and that's a hallmark of jungle. This animal also has a really clean background color due to the jungle gene, and it just, the contrast is really pops on this animal. There's a close-up, and a lot of people are confused with the jungle gene, understandably so, because it's very variable and there's lots of different characteristics that jungles can have, but they don't usually all have all the characteristics. This animal doesn't have any striping or really aberrant saddles like some jungles do, and a lot of people think that the striping and saddle aberrancies are what characterizes jungle, but it's not the only thing. And this guy people would call more of a low to medium expression jungle, not a real high expression jungle. But sometimes I like those animals just as much as the more extreme high expression versions, because they just go so well with in the combos like this moron jungle. And this guy just really stands out because of the contrast, and just a beautiful looking animal, the moron jungle. We've seen Hypo, we've seen jungle, and we've seen moron, but now what happens when you have all 3 in the same animal? Well, this is what happens. This is a Hypo jungle moron. Unfortunately, she's not really holding still very well. But these are among the most beautiful in the litter, and these are what I would characterize as living art. Let me just get her back in the camera. You can see how well these 3 genes go together. The striping from the jungle, the clean pattern and the contrast from the jungle, the light colors from the Hypo, the pastel from the moron. It's just a great combination. And these animals are just kind of blow me away with how beautiful they are. She's not holding still. You can see her on my Flickr page, the still photos, and of course she holds still in the still photos. And yes, this gorgeous animal is available to a new home. So check her out on my Flickr page and drop me a line if you might be interested. Now we're going to see what happens when you have 2 copies of the moron gene in the same animal. And of course you get the super moron, which is a truly spectacular snake, and really one of the reasons I got into the moron project. So this guy is a super moron. I thought he was jungle when I first saw him. No, I'm not so sure. It seemed like some of his saddles were kind of aberrant like the jungle, but I think he just might be a super moron. But regardless, a spectacular animal. You can see that deep red coloration, and it's just a breathtaking looking animal. And believe it or not, if you breed together 2 single copy morons like the first snake I showed you, you should get statistically 25% super morons like this one. So this is what a lot of people would characterize as a terminal morph, a morph you can't really improve upon by adding in anything else, kind of like the scoria or the princess diamond leucocystic boa. It's just so breathtaking that you don't want to really mix in anything else and spoil the effect. Another really cool thing about super morons is they have these beautiful dark eyes, almost look like little alien eyes, but they're just such cool animals. So this guy is actually staying with me. He's a holdback, and again, I think this guy's a straight super moron. I don't have any other straight super morons, but I do have some other super morons, and I'll grab one of those to show you next. But before I forget, just want your opinion. Do you think this guy is a jungle or just a straight super moron? Please comment below. So lastly, we have the super moron Hypo, 2 copies of the moron. and the Hypo. And when this litter was born, the super morons were really obvious, but it was pretty clear that most of them were Hypos because the color was a little bit lighter than what we saw with the animal I just showed you, the Marron, or the straight super Marron. And so you can see this guy has this beautiful red color, and they actually, the color seems to be getting a little bit darker since they were born. They were a little bit lighter when they were born, but just kind of an amazing look to them. Beautiful, intense red color. I also love the saddles on the tail. Let me zoom in on those. Just look at that tail. Look at the white between the red saddles. It's just off the charts. This guy is just incandescent. He just glows. Amazing looking animal. And yes, these guys, some of them are available. So go check out my Super Moron Hypos if you're looking for a real top-notch, top-shelf boa to add to your collection. And hopefully you see one that you like. And of course, these Super Moron Hypos also have the dark eyes like the non-Hypo Super Moron. Like a lot of my litters, it's going to be hard to just select a few to hold back because, you know, so many of these babies are such top-notch animals. But fortunately for you guys, a lot of them are going to be available. And I posted the pictures of them up on my Flickr site. And if you go to my Flickr site, you can see the pictures, you can see the prices, you can see other information. So go check it out if you're interested in possibly acquiring a baby from this litter. A lot of really great animals to look at. A lot of different price points as well. Since we have so many different combinations, there's a boa in this litter for every budget, from, you know, someone who wants to spend the very low amount, doesn't have a lot of money to get started, up to someone that wants a trophy animal like a Super Moron that only a few people have, that is really considered to be kind of a pinnacle morph. You can't really improve on a Super Moron by introducing many other genes. So go check them out. If you have any questions, you can email me at my email below the video description. My terms of sale, the link to that is also below the video description. So check those out. Let me know any questions you have, or if you're interested in any of the baby boas. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Shoot me any questions and comments you have, and enjoy your boas.